Afternoon, it's Lindsay. It is March 20th, Thursday, 2025, and so I just wanted to do brief video about more of my gang stalking and targeted stuff, and how it's basically just financial abuse, and how it's clearly obvious to me that why I'm being targeted, especially lately, is because of this whole inheritance dispute. And here's an example of what happened. So I got a call. Put on some. I have some weird stuff happened to me at the bank. Okay, they wanted to meet with me at Chase Bank, reaching out to meet with me because of whatever, so to see about if I want help to manage my money, that I have invested with the inheritance. And so then this is just an example of how they stage stuff. Okay, and I've talked about how I was involved with that narcissistic psychopath type person who was very controlling and manipulative and mean and demanding and condescending and whatnot, abusive as far as mental, emotional, inflicting a lot of emotional abuse on me and mocking me every time I would talk about targeted individuals and gang stalking. He would basically just mock me and humiliate me and insult my intelligence in a lot of ways, and it was really degrading. It got to the point where I just was like, leave me alone. And I talked about how I blocked him, and then he still kept pursuing and harassing me, basically, and it just pestering me. And when somebody's using you and exploiting you and lying to you and doing all these things behind your back, and you call them out for it, they can't. Narcissistic type people can't handle losing control and being called out for what they're doing, because that's what makes them angry. And so, of course, I document these things because I know that he's one of these types of people who has to get revenge on people who doesn't get his way. And that's what he was doing with me, until I just would talk back and get nasty as far as like vocally with him, because it's like, if he exhibits that kind of an emotional abuse towards me, then I'm going to exhibit abuse in my way towards you. That's how it is. I don't tolerate being bullied, sexually exploited, and interrogated, basically, or harassed to the extent that he was making me go crazy with his just constant harassing me. When you block somebody on your phone, that means you don't want to talk to them. And when they keep on harassing you and telling you and demanding that you unblock them and whatnot, and threaten, basically like you feel like you're being blackmailed, or it's scary. It's a type of situation that's very hard to explain to anyone who hasn't been through that, but it's like a form of coercive abuse, and they're using your past history with mental wellness and mental health and whatnot, and your health condition, all these other things against you, to try to take advantage. And this is what these kinds of monster, demonic, stalker type people do, and they get obsessed with destroying you and smearing your name and ruining you, your finances, your health, everything. You see how whenever you're involved with these people, how everything in your life just starts to fucking deteriorate. Like you just lose your identity in a way. It's like they come in to steal your identity, to steal your light that you maybe once had. That you used to be different. You used to have passions and dreams about things, but you realize that the more you're around these kinds of people, they take it away. They take away your passions, and they absorb all your energies, and they release all this negativity into your life from their past and their demons that they have, and they project it onto you. And that's what this person was doing, because he was so filled with toxicity and demons and lies, flat out lying to me all the time, that I kept accepting him back into my life. And it's just like, what am I was going, it literally makes you crazy. It's what they do. They know what they're doing, and they're doing it on purpose. And it's all very satanic, demonic type activity, because I don't know what you have to really wonder what kinds of things are these people really involved with, and what have they done in their past. What because it's very odd when you're around somebody that you're just completely not compatible with in any kind of, like, you might think at first that, oh, this is fun, this whole initial stage of the relationship when you're getting to know the person and they're charming you and they're giving you gifts or little gifts and they're sweet talking you and kind of flattering you and sometimes giving you compliments. But all that kind of stuff after maybe a few months or a year, that all completely stops. And then it becomes just devaluation and dragging you down and mocking you, criticizing you in ways that might be subtle but very abusive and mean. Everything, it's really bad, and you're just left thinking, did that person really say that? Did this really happen? And then you start to doubt your own perception of what's happening, because you're so surprised that they can be that way to you one day and then a few days later completely different, and then they're blaming you for what they do to you and the harm and the pressure that they put onto you. They blame you for what they do. They're the ones who come into your house. They're the ones who invade your bedroom and your territory, your sacred area. They are the ones doing it to you, but they turn it around to make it look like you're the one who's doing it to them, when in fact, no, they're the ones always pursuing you, because they're stalkers and they're obsessive and they're out to destroy. They can't take no for an answer. Most people in a healthy relationship, whether it ends or whatever, can walk away without any kind of animosity, unless you have kids involved or some kind of, I guess like a divorce where there's kids, where there's alimony, or I guess that's called alimony when the parent has to pay child support, whatever I guess that's, yeah. So, or even if they're not married and there's a kid involved, they have to take it to court so that the kids are supported. Well, okay, that's different. But whenever I can understand that there can be a lot of hostility in those kinds of situations, because I, as a child, had to go through that, watching my own toxic, abusive, manipulative parents, which were both very narcissistic and immature in a lot of ways. Very immature and self-serving and self-absorbed. That's what I grew up around with my parents, at least both of them. But I had to watch all that stuff growing up, and I just thank God I had quite a vivid imagination and creativity, and was able to just kind of disassociate from it, because you don't really have a choice as a child, because it's too much to comprehend when you're that young. But anyway, back to what I'm saying about these narcissistic people who come into your life to control you, that that they're sent. It's evident throughout different stages of that relationship that they clearly were sent by, they're sent by demons, or that there's something wrong. There's something completely amiss, because I can give you example after example of how this man would demonstrate characteristics of demonic possession of some kind, because I would try to like he would get mad at me and make fun of me if I would talk about God, if I ever said the word Jesus. I mean, I'm not a religious person necessarily, but I did grow up more or less, going to church and going to religious school. So I did, but I didn't really pay attention to the Bible back when I was a child or anything about. But as I get older, and as I go through more things in life, it becomes more important to me, my own walk in spirituality and trying to learn about, the Bible or things like this, because to me, it has a validity. And he was making fun of me about that, because I would listen to sermons which help me, things that are spiritual, that I get a lot out of, that I benefit from, for my health reasons, for my clarity, for my mental well-being. And he would get mad and make fun of me about that, because it was talking about Jesus or God and about things of demonic possessed, things that this person who I listen to a lot talks about his own experiences with people who are possessed by demons, and what he's, as a deliverance minister, is what he used to do. This man, it's very fascinating. And I get a lot out of these kinds of lectures and people who have had experience with these kinds of things. I find it fascinating to listen to, people who are on that level of spirituality where they've gone through so much and experienced so many things and seen so many things that they have a maturity level to talk about it and to discern, the ability to discern. Whereas most people in today's society, a lot of people, it's such a superficial type world, especially now with the internet and all these things that we have so easily available, that most people don't really. And yeah, people go to church, and I'm not saying there's plenty of people out there who are very spiritual, but just because you go to church doesn't mean that you're a God-fearing, religious, spiritual person. It could be a facade for a lot of people. It's that status image thing to project themselves as being somebody who's outstanding in the community, perhaps, but it might not really be what it seems. It can be deceptive, just putting on a front that some people do to try to appear that way, whereas other people truly are on a path of a more evolved spiritual journey due to their own circumstances or their own discernment, their own things that have happened to them, which have pretty much kind of pushed them in that direction and sort of forced them to have to see that other thing. We go through negative. I'm not saying, look, I've had my dark days plenty. Okay, I've been at stages in my life where I just negate God, and I'm like, this is all so dumb. If God were really present, or if God cared about me, or Jesus, and why are they not helping me? But I got over that. I realized, after having so many bad things happen to me and so many bad people coming into my life and having close brushes with death and bad things, being a targeted individual, gang stalked and mobbed and harassed, and I realized that's not for me. Okay, I know that I had the choice to do that, to go to that side if I wanted to. I could have gone to that level of inferno, and stayed down there and never gotten myself up. But I decided, no, I don't want that in my life. I want to evolve and become better each day as much as I can. And it's hard because there's things that I hate or don't like, and we all hold grudges, and there's people that you don't really want to forgive them, and you don't have to. Because some people are not really worthy of your forgiveness when they've done intentional harm. But there are people also that you just, I think the best thing with some people is really just, as hard as it can be, it is often necessary just to completely do a blackout with them and go no contact and block them, because you have to, because they're hindering your path. They're hindering your ability to grow and move on as an individual, a spiritual individual especially. They are there to disrupt your life path. And this is very true. This is true, that you will have people in your life who come and go. Think about the book, The Celestine Prophecy. That's an example of how things happen that are kind of unexplained, but it's all synchronized. That book is a good example of that. And you'll notice it in your life. People come and go. It's like a synchronicity. They come, they go, they come, they go, but then they might reappear. And some of them, that you'll notice that there's some people from your past that it's like, cool. It's a good thing to see that person again or hear from them, whatever. But you still know within your soul that's not the person for you, or that happened for a reason, and it ended for a reason, and that's it. Just, but that's all you see it as, but maybe they don't. But they come back, and they try to come back, and they keep trying to come back. And certain people don't know, they seem to just not realize that, no, you can't keep doing that. When somebody doesn't want to continue to see you, you have to respect their decision. There's people, you have the right to say no to people. I don't care if it's a job that you're being bullied by a boss or what, a corporation. You still can say no. You can walk away. They don't have power over you. The illusion is that these people have control and power over you because you're dependent on them for a paycheck. But no, you don't think about it like that, because if you're really being mistreated and you're really miserable and unhappy in a workplace, for example, or that you're being taken advantage of and exploited without getting paid, then you should say something, or you should demand a higher pay or get out of there, in my opinion. Because I've been through that myself, and I have to stand up for myself because nobody else is going to do it. Who else is going to stand up for yourself if you don't, really? Unless you have a really good attorney who believes in you and understands you and knows you, or something like that, or a good confidant or somebody. But most people, at the end of the day, it's like you're the one who has to do all the work on these things. Because I've done a lot on my own. I've had help. I've had people help me. I've had people kind of guide me and sort of but coach me a little bit. But really, in reality, it's like a lot of these people, they need me more than I need them, because I end up doing everything on my own. I fucking push myself, and I do it my own way, and I do things my way, and people don't like that, because and people are like that. When they want to control you, that means they want to control your life. They want to control you as a person. Then there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with individuals who feel the ultimate, the need to control other people. I am a very upfront, direct communicator, but I don't feel the need to control other people unless I'm a parent who's trying to discipline a child. That is different. Or a pet that needs to be trained, potty trained, whatever. I don't have a dog or a cat right now, but I have in the past. But I'm just saying, I don't feel the need personally to control anybody, nor would I want to, because I believe in natural law. I believe we all have the ability to make our own decisions, unless you have some kind of a trauma, a brain trauma or something where you can't, because cognitive dissonance, and that's part of narcissistic abuse. When you've been abused so severely, it will affect your brain, and it will affect your ability to make good decisions sometimes, because of all the stress and chaos that these people intentionally cause. Sometimes it does inhibit your ability to make good decisions. And narcissistic people know that, and that's why they take advantage of people who are more empathic and vulnerable. Okay? That's their modus operandi, is to go around fucking people over, stealing your fucking money, taking advantage of you sexually, exploiting you sexually, or whatever way they can, financially, which is all this shit that happened to me. Okay? So be aware, you should be aware, if you're a female especially, who's single, on your own, like me, and independent, then be aware of these vulture, narcissistic psychopaths, because they're everywhere. They're everywhere, and they can be your own family, they can be your own relatives, they can be anybody, but be cautious. Don't go around trusting everybody. Like I made the mistake of being too fucking nice and inviting to people who fucked me over and stole from me and tried to ruin me and literally almost tried to kill me with their toxicity. Because they will try to fucking kill you. You'll see that these people they come into your life, and what do? Ask yourself, what was your life like before you knew them? How were you doing? How were you feeling? You'll see, if you start to connect the dots and draw the lines, go into your past, you'll realize that you never needed them. You didn't even, they're the ones who are so fucking needy and clingy and codependent on you. What the fuck did they ever do for you? Do they pay your bills? Do they help you do your yard? Do they fucking clean your kitchen? Do they do your lawn? No, they don't. They come into your life for one thing, usually, and one thing only. And then when they get that, they move on and they fucking go from one supply to the next to use them sexually. A lot of these nasty, narcissistic sex addict men, and for example, that are usually alcoholics and sex addicts. And I try to stay the fuck away from those kinds of men because they're nothing but demonic demons, in my opinion, problems and demons who can't get over their, drinking all the time, fornicating with anybody and whoever they can get their hands on. They have if a man has a sex addiction, it's in your best interest to try to get away from them because they're going to cheat on you no matter what. They're going to lie to you and they're never going to be honest with you because of their addiction to porno and sex. And be careful. And you'll notice it, the way they behave around children. They have certain obsessions with body type and they're always controlling you and dragging you down about your appearance because they're sex addicts. And they have their own insecurities that they project onto other people. This happens a lot and people don't want to talk about it because it's embarrassing and humiliating. But it's very true. This happens a lot. Anyway, so at the bank, I had the Chase Bank today. I was there for a meeting, and it was kind of weird because I pay attention to all the things, and I can tell you that there's definitely some street theater and some obvious stuff that I was being set up for, or that I was being monitored, or like that these people were scripted. I'm in there waiting. I got there early, and of course I contacted the attorney the other day, this Melinda Luna in Kerrville a couple days ago, and I said, well, because she had sent me an email about a week ago saying there's still some money from that inheritance from the estate. And I said, well, and I emailed her back. I said, well, what do I need to do to get the money? And then she emailed me back saying you might need to hire a new attorney and a new judge. And I'm like, okay. And then I talked to her again the other day, and she said that maybe something about she said that she could do a submission for a hearing or a status hearing, but not contest it. I said, okay, well, let's do what we have to do, please, so I can get the remainder of what my inheritance from my dead father, Alan Baldwin, or uncle, but I think he's my father. I don't have proof of that, but I'm pretty sure he's my biological father. And so apparently there's a little bit more to be distributed. So I went to and then that. I had a meeting at the bank, but lo and behold, of course, I hear from her today via email about that. So it's kind of all tied together. See, when you're targeted financially and people want to control your money and try to tell you what to do, it's all connected financially. In my case, it's all about that because I can assure you that somebody's got some kind of a fucking life insurance policy out on me that they want to collect money, waiting for me to be dead because they want to collect money and continuously try to financially abuse me and control me, making me look crazy so that this happens all the time. Look up guardianship abuse. Look up these kinds of things on the internet and research financial abuse, research guardianship abuse, research inheritance fraud. It's all there. And if you've been through this kind of stuff, you know what I'm talking about. When a sibling steals your fucking inheritance, or a half-sibling who's not even related to the person who died. That's what I had to go through. Fighting. I don't have to fucking fight or prove anything because I haven't done anything wrong at all. But whatever. This is a society. This is the way it works. This is how this kind of thing works. And so I was in there, and it was interesting because there was a woman named, and I watched her. She was an elderly woman, probably in her 90s or 80s. I don't know. She was sitting there going through these things. She had one of these walkers, and it said Drive. It was a brand Drive. I saw that. And she had kind of grayish white hair, some little kind of curly. She looked like an elderly woman. And she's going through some banks, looking at some envelopes and statements and whatnot, or paperwork. And she's got a little plastic bag there on her walker. And then this woman sits down next to her wearing, I think the woman had on glasses or whatever, really long hair. And maybe it was her daughter or her caretaker, I don't know, but or a relative, I'm not sure. But she said she was there. Somebody came up and said, well, may I help you? She said, I need to see the bank manager because Chase is doing some illegal things with my account. And then he said something like, okay. or she did, the woman, and then I was still waiting, and then another person came up to her, the guy who I ended up talking to, which is this guy who works there. First name starts with a V. I'll just say that much. A Hispanic guy, and then she says, well, I really need to talk to the bank manager, the branch manager, and they said, well, he's not here right now. He's on. You'll have to come back. And she said, well, that's what they tell me every time, that I need to come in person, and you'll be hearing from my attorney. She said she was really mad. Actually, the second time, the first person who approached her, I think, was a man. That's right. And then the second time it was a woman. That's when she said, well, you'll be hearing from my attorney because they've done illegal things with my money, she said, in my account. And she was really pretty adamant. And I was like, wow. And her name was Miss Barbara. I got that. I heard that, Miss Barbara, and I was watching the security guy. I watch everything going on around me. I watch the people in the chairs directly to my right, like they maybe were Puerto Rican or something. They had an accent. They're doing stuff on their phone. But to me, a lot of it seemed like a setup. And I had my appointment at 2, but I got there earlier than that. But I still had the appointment at that time because I just was there early. But it was just, I could just see, it's like, and the man I spoke with, he had a British accent. And I'm not going to say their names, but they're friendly. And they're kind of trying to help me figure out, and I told them that I've been trying to have my own business. I like to go to the gym. If I could only make money doing something like that I really like. I said I put in all this energy and effort every day to go to the gym, and I drive really far there because they have the treadmill I like. And so they were attentive and listening to me and seemed very supportive. I don't know these men, but they work there, and they seemed nice enough, decent. So that went well, in my opinion. It went well. And then whatever. So I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do and how I'm going to invest money or make money with my own business, hopefully. And maybe one day move out of this area or go closer to the gym that I like, that live closer there or something, or have a home gym with a real treadmill that I can really utilize or something. I don't know. Because I wish that if that Goliad gym just had those machines, but no, they don't. But if I could just maybe fucking buy one myself or rent one or something and turn my own house into a gym, that would be good, since I like to be alone when I exercise anyway. I mean, I enjoy sometimes going out and going to the gym to be around some people sometimes, but actually I pretty much enjoy working out by myself, but I don't think it's possible in this house. I don't even think I could fit the fucking treadmill through the door, that thing. But if I were able to rent one, which I found one that I could rent, it's, I could rent it by the month or buy it on a plan. It's a refurbished one like the one I use at the Gold's Gym, that incline free motion. But I'm thinking, I don't think I could get it through the front door. I don't know if it would really be able to get through that door. I don't know. And just imagine what a hassle that would be. It becomes like that whole thing about, and then, I don't know. I just don't know. If I had a gym, if I could manage a gym, kind of be a floor manager, or maybe in charge of kind of like to guide the something or do something there, it would be nice if I were getting paid somehow to do what I like since I'm there every day, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm kind of old. I'm not like a 20-year-old, happy, that kind of, attitude. Like, I go there because I need to, and I feel like it's necessary for me. But I'm not that, a 20-year-old, like, look at pretty little girl anymore. I'm a 50-year-old woman, and I don't have, as you get older, obviously, especially at a gym, and here I am criticizing myself, but it's the truth. There's a lot of ageism. There's a lot of discrimination at places like gyms when you're a bunch of fucking 20-year-olds and people that are these women wearing these goddamn little fucking tawdry little slutty outfits to show off all their cleavage, and it's like, here I am just dressed in a regular black I'm not there to try to look sexy. I'm there because I need to work out and because I do it for my mental and emotional health. But these women are so fucking slutty. They look like little fucking tramps, a lot of them, and it's like, it's humiliating. It's embarrassing to be there when there's a bunch of women dressed like that. So it's like they're always that's one thing about those. I've never been that type of person to dress like that in public ever. I find it disrespectful, and it just shows me that they don't have much class if you're gonna dress like that, basically almost wearing nothing, some of them. And they do this every fucking Gold's Gym you go to, or every gym for that matter. You'll notice that a lot of the women, they basically wear nothing. They wear like these little tiny halter tops and crap, like tiny little shorts. It's like, why don't you just cover yourself up a little bit more? You know, it's a gym. There's elderly people here. There's other kinds of people that don't really want to see you putting on a fucking porno show in front of all these people, which is what it's like. They need that much attention that they have to dress like a fucking whore at the gym. Go the fucking tit bar, bitch. Sorry, but if I were a fucking manager of a gym, I would ban all that kind of disgusting, provocative behavior, because I don't give a shit what music you listen to or anything. It's the way they behave. It's the way they carry themselves. Some of these arrogant type people that you see, and it's men too. It's not just women. It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? You know, fucking shows. I'm not of that generation, okay? These kids now are just stuck up little fucking shits, and I'm glad that I don't, you know, they're just rude, arrogant. They don't flush the fucking toilet. They leave their trash everywhere. They don't wipe the machines down. It's like, what the fuck, you know? Show some fucking respect. But they don't, and it's never going to change, and I'm not going to sit there and tell people what to fucking do. But like I said, if I were the manager of a gym, I would put up fucking signs, clean up the machine when you're done, throw your trash away, flush the fucking toilets, you know? Nobody gives a shit. They don't. I feel it's aggravating that this is on and on at every gym you go to here in San Antonio. I have never seen one fucking gym. It doesn't even matter if you're at the Gold's Gym in Alamo Heights, which is supposedly like you have to have a special membership to go there. But it's same thing. It's filthy dirty. Unflushed toilets, dirty shit. Filthy, and women dress like fucking whores over there as well. It's everywhere. But hey, that's why I'd like to just exercise by myself in my own fucking home, alone, away from people scrutinizing me and body shaming and all that shit that they do, the ageism crap. It's horrible. And I'm not going to stop going to the gym anytime soon. But I'm just saying, it's just it's like going through that every fucking day, year after year, mocking your appearance. If you don't look like a little, you know, perfect little whatever the fuck these women, it's like, I'm not perfect, and I don't try to be, but you don't have to fucking pick on me using the fucking media about it. So there, and some people have no room to be judging anyway. Some of you are, you know, you're not all that yourselves. So shut the fuck up and keep your fucking criticism to yourself, some of you, because I see all this shit that happens at these places. It's horrible. They play it off like, oh yeah, it's very bad at Gold's Gym. It really is. And if you're gonna deny that, you know, I've been there every fucking day for the past 10 years almost. I know what I'm talking about. I see it. I've watched it. I listen to don't try to fucking negate what I'm saying, because I see it all the time.